In the shadow of the Carpathian Mountains, where fog moves like whispers through the trees, there exists a forgotten village known only to those who were born within it, Hollowmere. Cut off from the modern world, untouched by time, the village held secrets older than civilization. And at the heart of it stood an ancient stone bell tower, sealed by 12 locks, watched by 12 guardian families, and forbidden by generations. Aaron Vance had not set foot in Hollowmere for over 20 years. A disillusioned journalist from the city, Aaron had buried his past with whiskey and work. But a letter, unsigned and cryptic, called him back. The words were simple, chilling: the 13th bell will toll. You must come home. The return was uneasy. Hollowmere looked as if it had been drained of life. Faces from his childhood stared without recognition. Smiles were too polite. Eyes lingered too long. The people were not the same. They moved in patterns, like dancers bound by some ancient choreography. Aaron was haunted by fragments of memory, his mother's screams, the echo of a bell in the night, and a nursery rhyme whispered in fear. 1 for silence, 2 for sin. 3 to keep the shadows in. 4 through 12, the locks we spell. But never sound the 13th bell. The village priest, Father Mikhail, greeted him with unease. He had aged into a gaunt figure, more shadow than man. He told Aaron, reluctantly, that his return signaled the unraveling. One of the 12 guardian families had perished. The bell tower, long dormant, had stirred. A single iron lock, one of 12, had vanished. Each guardian family bore the duty to keep the seal intact. Aaron's family had been the 13th. Not a lock, but the failsafe. The last key. When his family fled Hollowmere decades ago, they unknowingly disrupted the balance. The tower, the entity beneath it, remembered. And it waited. Then came the first death. A child found drowned in a dry well. Days later, the second, a farmer burned alive in his fields without fire. With each death, a lock disappeared. The villagers held secretive midnight services. Bells rang in the distance, but Aaron heard 13 tolls when there should only be 12. He was drawn to the tower, dream after dream. In those nightmares, he stood at its summit, looking down into a gaping abyss that breathed and whispered. A voice, his own, yet not, spoke from the darkness, "Open the gate. Let me in." Desperate for answers, Aaron uncovered the history. Hollowmere had been built upon an ancient sinkhole, known in old pagan texts as the Maw. Before the tower, before the village, there had been a temple. A sacrificial site. Something slumbered beneath, the hunger that inspired centuries of silence. The bell tower was a cage, the bells a chant of containment. Each bell cast a barrier. 12 locked it in. The 13th was never meant to be rung. It was the call. The awakening. As more villagers died, Aaron pieced together the pattern. Each death matched a ceremonial rite: water, fire, earth, wind, shadow, and so on. They weren't accidents. They were offerings. One by one, the guardian families fell. And then, it stopped being subtle. The sky over Hollowmere darkened, not from clouds but from something older, an absence. Animals fled. The trees twisted unnaturally. The 12th guardian died under impossible circumstances, his body calcified, turned to white stone overnight. The final lock dissolved. Aaron stood alone before the tower. The villagers surrounded it in silence, eyes vacant, mouths moving in chants without sound. They were no longer people, they were vessels. Father Mikhail, his mind barely intact, confessed. Aaron had never left Hollowmere spiritually. He had been marked since birth. His family's departure only delayed what was inevitable. The bloodline could not escape its calling. The 13th bell needed its bearer. Aaron was that bearer. With a final scream, Mikhail flung himself from the tower, leaving Aaron alone with the truth. The tower opened on its own. Inside, Aaron found stairs spiraling downward, deeper than physics allowed. Each step descended into time itself. The walls wept with voices. Faces formed in the stone, screaming silently. He reached the chamber of bells. 12 massive cast-iron bells circled around a black void. Above it, suspended by chains made of bones, was the 13th bell. Unrung for centuries. Smooth. Untouched. It began to swing. Aaron tried to flee, but the villagers blocked the exit. Their bodies cracked and twisted. Mouths tore wider. They were husks now, animated by the will of what lay below. The entity did not want to be freed, it wanted to become. To wear the world like a skin. As the bell swung back, Aaron climbed the chain. He clung to the 13th bell as it began to toll. The sound wasn't loud. It was inside him. In his teeth, in his blood. With a final breath, he whispered a name he didn't remember learning, a name not meant for human tongues. The tower shuddered. The bell cracked. And Aaron let go. He fell into the maw. The tower collapsed. The chanting stopped. Hollowmere vanished from all maps. Where it once stood is now only forest. Hikers who pass through sometimes hear strange echoes, like a bell tolling far away. People go missing in those woods. They say time stretches there. That shadows move the wrong way. No one remembers Hollowmere. No one dares speak its name. But sometimes, in the dead of night, when the wind blows just right, you'll hear a bell. Just one. And if you do, run. Because the 13th bell is not done ringing. Not yet.